let's hit the word on the street, which is going to be, we don't got no crazy MMA news, but what we do have is eye pokes going on, illegal shots going on, man. Exactly, gauging too much distance with that, man. Hands up, but you can't have your hands up because the glove is forcing your hand down like that, so you have to actually use the flexion in your hand to, it's just crazy, man. When is the UFC signing a deal with Trevor Whitman and getting the Onyx gloves? Do you think that at this point, man, it's like their back is up against the wall, like you have no choice, bro? This stopped a main event from, you just robbed the fans of, and if there was actual fans in the building, imagine how pissed off people would be and be like, dude, fuck it. You know what I mean? No more of these bullshit gloves. What do you think?
I agree, except I was on that board, like I was on that ship right when I saw the eye poke. I've been on that Trevor Whitman glove game. Why not? Like, it makes sense. But Leon Edwards actually had a really good a good point to it, and he said he didn't think it was the gloves, and I didn't think, I thought it was the gloves until I saw a picture. And what happened is he hit Belal, and on the pullback is when he got in the eye and pulled basically out. So his fingers were down, and he just got inside. It was like the craziest thing, because he did hit him with a punch. It's just how his hand was facing down went into his eye. Yeah. So it's like almost like, how are you going to avoid it? It's just kind of like, it's hard to say, because you don't want a glove that's going to give grapplers a more of an advantage or a disadvantage. You want something that's going to be a little more free flowing.
Well, it's like the MMA gloves that I train with, man. There's like a padding over here, so it literally tucks your hands down. So when I'm punching, right, and I'll hit a bag or whatever, the thing that's, if anything is taking any damage, it's these knuckles right here. You know what I mean? And folks, for the folks listening, it's not your main knuckles, but it's like the middle knuckle between like the tip of your finger and the actual main knuckle, right? Like that's the only thing that's actually hitting something. So it's at least it's bending your fingers down that much. Nonetheless, man, how about the gray area in the sport? Because why? So this was a no contest. Right? In my heart, in my gut, I was like, oh my God, Leon Edwards just lost. Like Belal Muhammad just won. He can't continue. You poked him in the eye. Herb Dean just warned you, watch your weapons, man. He just warned you and you just did it again. Is that not like the makings of a disqualification?
That was literally one of the things of why Peter Yan got the DQ was intent. And you just got warned 30. I was going on about this, about the Anderson thing. You just almost need to do 30 seconds before. You just got warned 30 seconds before. Watch your weapons. Keep your hands. He even did he stopped the fight, hold him hands up, hands down. Like there's no, so like that. It's like you said, the gray area. That's the most frustrating thing, is that right there in by the rules. Because going back to the Anders thing, why they did no contest was because it didn't complete round one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this fight did complete round one. This was an eye poke in the second round. Like, so what do illegal knees, not the rules for illegal knees, not count for an illegal eye poke? They're both illegal. They're both a strike that's going to stop the fight. What the fuck?
I agree, man. And that's really the difficulty in this whole entire thing, man. And one thing that I do have to point out, man, is this is something I caught. I don't know if you caught it in the broadcast. So Herb Dean is basically sitting here with Belal Muhammad, and he's all like, yo, Doc, we need you to take a look. Herb Dean, first off, you do one thing you're never supposed to do. You don't tell people to calm down. You never tell people to relax. That actually heightens the stimulation in the body. Like, it's literally the opposite of what you're trying to do. But he's telling Belal Muhammad, I know you can't see out of your eye right now, but you need to just relax because the doc needs to take a peek at it, right? Nonetheless, so the doctor or somebody came up to Herb Dean and was trying to like tell him something. I think it was somebody who worked with the company who was all like, bro, you got to hurry up and make a decision. And Herb Dean was like, well, you just leave me alone. Like, get out of my face, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let me handle this. And so that went and showed me right there. I was like, oh, this isn't nearly as organized as I thought it was. It was like Herb Dean trying to scramble and be like, oh, fuck, what do I do? While the doctor is like, oh, shit, what do I do? While the commission is just like, oh, my God. And the hardest part right now is there's no fans. So normally when the crowd is just drowning it out and you can cut to the broadcast team, you can't do that because you could literally hear Herb Dean try to whisper things into, you know what I mean, like the doctor's ear or the commission person's ear or whatever. Nonetheless, man, so let's just talk, but we have to cover it. You know what I mean? This fight lasted basically a round and some change. And in that round, Belal Muhammad, he ended up being the one who was getting walked back. He got rocked bad. He ate a head kick and it looked like he was out on shaky legs. And Leon Edwards, as the finish was there, he saw it in Muhammad's eyes. This wasn't really, I know, I don't really agree with that either. You know what I mean? I think Muhammad's a dog, man. And I think that 5 rounds was the perfect opportunity for him. But nonetheless, listen, it was clear from what we saw, man. Just like the Anders fight, we're pretty positive Anders would have won the fight. I'm thinking though the trajectory of where it was going, Edwards would have very clearly won the fight unless Muhammad was able to, take it to the dog rounds, which is with the 5-round fight. It's hard to ever say we only saw one round. That's how the fight would have played off. So.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that it was the 10-9 to Edwards. He definitely won the fight. He rocked him. I don't know if he was out on shaky legs. He was definitely hurt. But what I liked about it, Muhammad actually came back, and once they got in the clinch, he put Edwards against the fence. So he was still there. He was still cognitively there. And yeah, I mean, I think Edwards, like I said before, is reaching a little bit with the I think I deserve a title fight. We saw it. We did see a good fight. And we saw a good scrap. And I think if we see Muhammad again, I think we're going to see a better scrap. He's one of the ones that carries a big chip on his shoulder, man, because people weren't remembering his name, man. No one putting respect. And now, man, I think we're going to see a hell of a dog come out. And personally, I think they run it back. But it's hard to say, man, because
it's just very hard to say if they run it back because Edwards says I want nothing to do with the rematch. You saw and in my opinion, when I watched it, there's nothing that merits a rematch from what I saw, but it's what I didn't see that makes me ask the question of like, okay, but you only fought for a round. So what are we talking about here? Nonetheless, man, Onyx gloves. Let's stop the eye pokes. Let's clear the gray area. Let's sit down and have a board meeting that says this is how we handle an eye poke. This is how we handle a knee where the other opponent cannot continue fighting. And you know what I mean? What's up?
I think the problem comes down to it is commission based. Each commission has a different set of rules, different set of referees, different set of judges. So if we're able to, and they say the unified rules of mixed martial arts, apparently it's not that unified. Nobody knows what to do for a different set of knees, a different set of fighters. Like there's no unification at all. And I think that's the biggest takeaways. That's what we need to do, man.
Well, you know what, man? I'm glad you pointed that out because last thing, clearly we're out of time here. So we'll wrap this thing up in a second. But ultimately in Nevada, they use the hybrid rules of the downed fighter. So it's not even that's the thing, right? You go to California, it's different rules. You go to Nevada, it's different rules. You go to New York, it's different rules. And that's the thing is this, what we have to remember, big picture for the folks listening and watching, big picture, this is a promotion. This is not a league. This is not a NFL. We can make up rules on the fly, and that's the beauty of this sport, man. And listen, it's just the reason why I think we have to be so diligent. We have to sit here and criticize so heavily is because it's not like you're playing a basketball game, man. People's brains and their health is really at risk here. Belal Muhammad, let's still knock on wood, man. We don't know what the result is going to be. He said he's getting some of the vision back, but who knows if he's going to have permanent long-term eye damage, man, that could completely change his career. Just like Eric Anders, who just had to get his eye injury fixed up because his depth perception was changed, and in fighting, it's kind of important, depth perception, right?